That was freaky, y'all. I was right in the middle of discussing a missing person, and my lights started flicking, and then my internet went out. But it seems to be back on. Oh my goodness, that was weird. My friend texted me and said, uh, the last thing you said was, Nancy, is that you? And you went off. Oh, I started dying laughing when she said that. I said, oh my goodness, I got to come back on then because, you know, I don't know what happened. That was spooky. I said, Nancy, is that you? Because the lights kept flicking. And it hasn't done it since I went off, and it just shut me down. So my somehow the when the lights flickered, I guess it took the Wi-Fi down. That was spooky. Now I'm hearing noises. I'm glad Tony's right outside the door. He just pulled it back in the driveway here, so I ain't scared because he right here. But if I was home alone now, I'd be like, what? That's eerie. Sitting here talking about missing people and all this stuff, and then your lights start flicking. I don't know if that was a sign. Maybe, Oh, I started laughing so hard with the camera went off. I mean, it shut Facebook down, and I just ended YouTube because I knew it was going to come right there, And I said, people will start messaging me. Are you okay? Are you okay? Yo, I started laughing when I hung up. My friend, she texted me and said, the last thing you said was, Nancy, is that you? And you had these big eyes, and all of a sudden, poof, you was gone. Oh, that was freaky. That was freaky. I don't know if it's the mouse, I don't know, y'all. The mouse chewing on a wire somewhere. I mean, I can see the internet wire right there, and that mouse ain't nowhere near that internet wire. And I don't know what in the world would cause the power to go like that. Oh, I don't watch any kind of scary shows. I am, somebody said, I think we're all paranoid. I think we are too. It gives you a lot. That's what I was trying to say. It gives you a lot to think about. It may never happen to none of us that something like that happens, but even just somebody trying to break in or whatever, we got to get prepared now. So, say it could be the weather. The weather was rainy, but I don't know what's going on after that. Yeah, I'm glad Tony's here too. If Tony wasn't here, y'all, I'll be grabbing my purse, keys, and jacket, and I'll be out the front door. I would be gone. But yeah, Tony's okay. He's doing good, y'all. He goes again to they had him try to cut down more on his fluids. They want him at 32 ounces of fluids a day. So he knows that's one coffee in the morning and a bottle and a half of water, and that's all he gets for the whole day. Uh, So he's really been trying to stick to that. He bought him some lemons, and he's trying to just make him a big old thing of lemon water and then just sip on that. Patty said, I need a gun. We got plenty of guns around here. You ain't got to worry about that. Tony has a stockpile of guns and ammunition. So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I don't think anybody's outside. Well, Tony's outside right now. He's out there in his truck. He didn't come back in the house, but he's sitting in the driveway in the truck. Sometimes he sits out there and listens to stuff on YouTube and stuff like that, racing stuff and all that. Where would I go? Last time I was sitting here, y'all, one night, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and the power went off, and Tony was somewhere. I forgot where he was at. But I was on the phone with my friend. I said, stay on the phone with me. I'm about to grab my purse in my coat, and I jumped out of here, and I just drove to Tony's mom's. I called her because she said, "Oh yeah, we're up. Come on." So I said, "I'm coming down to spend the night with you." I said, "We ain't got no power." I said, "I ain't staying out there by myself with no power." Yeah, I guess Melissa said, I guess Nancy just, she lived there 50 years, y'all. But I don't know if it had something to do with her daughter and well known, and then you get these crazy people. You know, all it takes. Somebody said today that it was a narcissistic psychopath, is the person that was at the front door. A narcissistic psychopath. So, yeah, I don't like to live in fear. I used to never watch the news. When I was little, y'all, I was the biggest chicken. I never watched the news because to me, the news was scary. They only told you bad things and, all that. I wouldn't watch the news for nothing when I was little. And now I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch movies of people getting killed. I don't watch any kind of, I watch comedy and romance and Christmas shows if I do watch anything. Somebody said, how would they know that? It was professional people on TV, and they have studied this man walking up to that porch, and based on a lot of stuff like that, uh, that's what they've come to their conclusion. They're all kind of, analyzing this and all that. Y'all, one thing I have in my house, I don't know if any of y'all have these or not. Let me show you. Let me go in here and show you something. I bought these at Walmart when we moved in here because this house is kind of dark because we're out in the country. But if the power goes off, I have these little things right here. Y'all seen these? Let me see if I can get it on both. I'll go back in here to show you. Anyhow, I'll set this down and show y'all what I have. And I have a whole bunch of these in my house. I think they was about $5 or something back in the day. I've probably had them for 12, 13 years. But anyhow, this is a light. And in the back of it, you just flip that down and plug it into the wall. See that? You just plug that into the wall. And it just stays in the wall all the time. It's not on or anything. And then if you want to use it as a flashlight or anything, you just take it out of the wall and you can turn that light on. You can turn a brighter, or you can turn a flashlight on. So if I need a flashlight, I have these all over the house. I just grab one of these. And what happens is when it's plugged in, it's charging, and it holds a charge for a long time. So if the power goes off, it immediately comes on. And I have them down my hallway, in the kitchen. I have them in all the rooms. So my house is just instantly lit up. So, yeah, if your power goes out a lot, when we first moved here, our power went out a lot. It doesn't do it now because they put the power underground. But these little things are neat because it's like a safety light. When your power goes off, these come on all by themselves, and it lights up the house. So I used to be it's scary to me if you're in a house and the lights go out and it's pitch black. I don't like that. So, well, I remember one time, Suzanne, I don't know if you remember that when you lived up on that hill. She lived up in the hill in an old house up there. It had this scary looking basement. But anyhow, one time Suzanne wasn't there, and neither was her husband. And me and Tugboat was up there for whatever reason. We was in town and we was both up there, and it was in the evening time. And the power went off. It turned jet black up there all of a sudden. And me and Tugboat look at each other because I'm a big scaredy cat, and I think she is too. She's worse than I am, I think. And we look at each other, and I said, "Oh no." She said, "You know what I think about if something like that happens?" I said, "What?" She said, "I think somebody's on the outside and they cut the wires to the house." I said, I don't think that. I said, what I think is somebody's in the basement and they cut the wires. And man, I said that. We both jumped up and we ran out that front door. We didn't stop. We got in the car. We was out there. But that was a long time ago. But it was funny. Somebody's asking where you get these. They're in Walmart over where they sell the night lights and stuff like that. I think it's called emergency light or something like that. But they're pretty neat to have in your house. And yeah, they still sell these. It might not be the same exact one, but something like that. But they're handy, and I tell a lot of people about them because believe me, when the power goes off, if your power ever goes off, all of them come on right at once. So you don't have to run and try to find, if it's in the dark and you're trying to find a candle and a lighter, to get a candle, to get something. Well, now you usually have your phone close by and you got a flashlight on your phone, but somebody's saying again, where did you get these? Where did you get these? Yeah, these are from Walmart. And you just leave it plugged in the wall all the time. It just stays in, plugged in. There's nothing comes on. You just plug it in, it just stays. It looks just like that. But you can take it out and use it as a light, or you can put the flashlight on, or you can put this flashlight on, and it's a flashlight. So sometimes if I'm going to the chicken coop or something, or going outside looking something, or I was been looking for that mouse under the couch, so I just go grab one of these, and it's a flashlight, and then I can look up under the couch looking for my little mouse friend. But these are nice to have. Like I said, back in the day, they was about $5 each. I don't know what they are today. I've had that one about 12 years now. Yeah, these don't take batteries or anything. You just leave them right on, right in the wall all the time. So you always know where a flashlight is or something like that. All right, y'all. I got to get off here. I just had to come back on, though, and tell y'all that Nancy didn't get me. The ghost of Nancy didn't get me. Oh, my gosh, that was so funny, y'all. If I'd have said that and then the whole power went off, I would have freaked. Oh, okay. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow and see, okay? I don't know what caused the lights to flicker. Could be the weather. It was raining earlier. I don't know. It was weird because our lights usually don't flicker. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Good night, everybody.